Good morning. So we're doing a Q&A session today. I've kind of got a few questions I'll just read out as we go and we'll answer them on the spot. But I also have one which we'll kind of look at in a little bit more depth. I've been just doing a little bit of research, got a few journal articles and things like that, which I'll leave the links actually. So the articles actually you might have to pay for, but I'll leave the link in there if you do want to download any of these articles. They're all PubMed articles, so some of them you do have to pay a little bit for, but they're really worth the read. So yes, all right, so the first one we're going to be looking at is leptin. So I had a few questions about, you get those people that they're trying everything and just nothing seems to be working. So there's obviously a few things. There's sometimes people think they're trying everything, but they're really not. And that's okay. That's why you work with a trainer. That's why you work with a professional to go, hang on a minute, you think that you're really working hard in these sessions, you're not even breaking a sweat, or you think you're eating well, but you got your ratios wrong, or whatever. That's totally fine. That's why I've got health professionals. So definitely, if you are finding that nothing's working for you, see someone. Oh, disclaimer, see a health professional. Now, this is personal information, so this is all just kind of for just general knowledge, but please work with a healthcare professional if you're thinking of actually applying any of this to your life. So pretty much leptin is a little chemical, a little hormone chemical, whatever you want to kind of think of it as, that works with our brain and works with our body, which it tells our brain to use fat as a fuel source. So if we've got excess fat or even not excess fat, but that's the thing that's going to go, flip us into that last little bit of, and it's normally, when I've had clients who've had issues with leptin, they're normally the people that say, I just can't lose that last 5 kilos. So when we look at leptin, that's what we're normally looking at. So the reason most people have problems with leptin resistance is that there's a lot of inflammation in their lives. So in their body, I should say. So inflammation can be caused by a number of things, but your major causes are going to be dietary, environmental, and stress related. So yeah, it's one of those things that you want to try to keep your cortisol, so your stress hormones, as low as possible, because that's going to lead to inflammation. But you also want to decrease your inflammatory foods, because that's obviously going to lead to inflammation. So we're talking things like alcohol, dairy, your processed meats and things like that. So if you're going to eat meat, eat your really good quality organic meat. So you want something that's low in arachidonic acid. What else? Refined foods which are high in trans fat. So we definitely, good fats are really good for us, but your bad fats, your trans fats, so your fats that you find in like your cookies, your deep fried foods, your snack foods, your chips, that kind of thing. The foods which we shouldn't be eating anyways. They're your things that are really gonna mess with your leptin levels or increase the resistance more to leptin. So the things we want to do to reverse this problem is stop eating too late in the night. So if you haven't had, there's a massive debate about when you want to eat. Honestly, I'm not an eater after kind of 7:30, 8 o'clock. I don't like going to bed feeling ridiculously full, and I feel like my body has to work a bajillion times harder. But there's other people who swear that it doesn't affect them at all. So do what's right for you. But in the case of leptin, we want to be reducing that food consumption early. Like we want to increase our food during the day, decrease it at night. So try and get all your main meal done by 7:30, 8 o'clock. The other things you want to be doing is increasing your omega-3s. So for your meat eaters and stuff like that, that's, your good quality fish. So ocean caught, free range, I don't know, whatever you want to call them, fish. For your vegans and vegetarians, we want to be getting in our flax sources, our kelp sources, that kind of thing. So your really green ocean-based veggies are going to be awesome for omega-3s. That's often why the fish are high in them, because they've been eating all the algae. But also, yeah, your flax and your flaxseed oil and things like that. So keeping those omega-3s up. And then you want to also increase your good foods that are going to help reduce your anti-inflammatory foods. So you want to increase things like turmeric, ginger, like I said, your omega-3s, just general fruit and veg, things like blueberries, so all your colourful fruit and veg is going to be awesome. Your beta carotenoids and things like that. So capsicum, all those kind of things. Your good quality fats, so things like avocado, small amounts of nuts. You don't want to overdo it on the nuts. And yeah, like I said before, your good quality fish. So yeah, that would probably be your major things for getting that leptin balance right. So it can be a little bit of a hard one, but really do what you can. If you've got any questions about it, just comment below. And then the second part we're going to look at is branched chain aminos. So your BCAAs, or BCAAs, whatever you want to call them, I don't know why, they've just really taken off the last few years. Now, why? I get confused as to why we always seem to go synthetic. It's we can find our branch chains perfectly fine in nature, and they're in the perfect ratios. They're with the perfect precursors, all your things that you need to be able to use them. And yet we still go and use synthetic ones, which is, you know, fine for a time and a place. But now I've just noticed I got a question from a client, which was she was training with somebody else, and now she's just started training with me. But she said, ever since I started taking BCAAs, I've been feeling really flat. I've asked her if I can use this question. So I looked into it, and I was a little bit confused, and then I realised she's sipping them all day. And then I realised this is also super common. A lot of people do sip them all day. So with your branch chains, take them around training. Yeah, go your hardest. That is fine. But I found a great little article. Now, it's on hang on, let me find it on my laptop. You can read the abstract on here, but it goes into, it tells you a brief overview of everything. But pretty much it's looking at how, so branched chain aminos are going to compete with tryptophan to get through the blood-brain barrier. But when they do that, they compete with serotonin. So they're going to knock your serotonin out, which if you're sipping them all day, it could lead to, and they've shown that it often does lead to, a massive drop in serotonin. Well, not massive, but kind of a slow progress of dropping your serotonin, which is going to lead to aggression, anxiety, depression, random just fearfulness, agitated, kind of all those things. Like your serotonin is your thing that's going to make you happy, the thing that gets you up in the morning, the thing that gives you that bit of energy. It's an amazing chemical in our brain, but if it drops too low, that's when the depression and stuff starts. So if you're sipping this all day, you're kind of booting out all the good stuff, and you're not really getting that much in return. So if you're eating a balanced diet, you're going to be getting in your branch chains anyways. So if this is purely just a thing because it tastes better, then it's not worth the health risks kind of thing. Combine that with the fact that pretty much every branch chain I've looked at over the last couple of weeks has got some sort of fake sugar in it, and then you're going to be messing with your insulin. So they're really a recipe for disaster if you're having them all day. So have them around training, yeah, for sure. But if you're sipping them all day, get rid of them. Just cut them out cold turkey. You don't need them. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to say. Oh, actually, just going back to the first bit about, oh my gosh, why am I blanking? Oh, looking at leptin. So, yeah, other thing you can do is, I totally forgot to bring this up, was your NRF2 gene. So, we want to increase the pathways for that. So, your NRF2 genes are responsible for your antioxidant and detox pathways. So, we want to increase them. So, how do we do that? Well, you can look at eat a lot more of your brassicas. So, your things like broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, all those kinds of things. They're going to be great for just automatically activating that gene. But also your green teas, kelps, kale to a degree. Kale's a bit of a hit and miss with that kind of thing. So matcha, which is another form of green tea, all those kind of things. And then you can also work in your adaptogenics. So your ashwagandha, your, oh my gosh, how am I blanking on this? Oh, your chaga and your reishi. So they're amazing little fungi guys that can do amazing things in your body. So increase them as well. You can even get them mixed in with coffees now. So if you're not, they taste a bit funny. So if you're not keen on that, just get them in a form like that you can taste. Anyways, I hope that's helpful, and keep those questions coming in. Thanks. Bye.